Well, the history of the hose house dates back actually to the water company. In the beginning of the 1900s, around 1901, the town of Salem decided it needed some water services. Water company was formed by some citizens, and the town contracted these citizens to set up a water company. The water company essentially put in underground pipes, and they set up some fire hydrants. I think there were 30-some fire hydrants in the beginning around town, mostly around the center here. Now that they had the water in, they approached their insurance company to see if they could get some lower rates and find out what they could do to get lower rates. An insurance representative came out, I believe he came out from Portsmouth. Anyway, he came out here and looked around, and they were given a number of things that they could do to lower the insurance rate that the town had to pay. And part of that was the setting up the fire hydrants. So once the fire hydrants was set up, they decided to have one or more fire hose houses, they called them. The hose house was their terminology for a firehouse. So in 1904, I believe, they built and set up hose house number 1 down Main Street here, and it was located across the street from where the present fire department is. But in 1906, this building, hose house number 2, was built here to take care of what they used to call Salem Center. And there was another fire station, hose number 3, which was up in North Salem. That came later. So in 1906, hose house number 2 started up. They had firemen, I'm not sure whether they were paid or I think they probably volunteered. And they had their own fire chief. Each hose house had its own fire chief and it had its own crew. And hose house number 2 started its life that way. They set it up as a 2-story building. The lower level was where they put in the fire equipment, whatever they had. They did have a horse-drawn pumper. The second floor was used for meetings and recreation for the firemen. If they wanted to have a meeting or some kind of social event, they used the second floor. And the hose house number 2 actually served a dual purpose, because in the basement, they set up 5 lockups. There was a jail in the basement, and the jail was there until, well into the 70s. A few years ago, we were working on, we being the Salem Historical Society, we were working on renovating and restoring the Salem Depot. And that project was coming to an end, successfully, by the way. So we sat around for a while and got the itch to start something else. We're looking over here from the museum. We said, how about renovating the hose house, at least fixing it up a little bit. The idea was not to completely restore the hose house, but just fix it up and make it look nice, and maybe use some of the spaces for the exhibits from the Salem Museum and also for the fire department. At the time, the fire department had stored a lot of equipment right where we are sitting now on the second floor. They had old hoses and old radios and odds and ends of all kinds of equipment, old uniforms, old jackets and hats, whatnot. Well, anyway, all of these things have been gone through. The good stuff has been set aside. Some of the things that were not salvageable, the fire department got rid of them. So we got this cleaned out. They stripped the floors of the old tiles, which were terrible shape. And we're sitting on the floor now with no tile. They will be retiled. The outside of the building was scraped and painted. That was probably the first project that really started to make this place look good. They put a new roof on, and while they were putting a new roof on, there was some sort of a cupola up there. Imagine in days gone by, there was a bell up there, but the cupola was empty, and it was sort of a pyramid-looking thing. Well, the committee decided that that cupola was not serviceable. It didn't look good. So a new cupola was commissioned. Carpenter built a new cupola. They found another bell, that was a fire bell, and the bell was purchased and brought here and now is residing up in the cupola that was put up during the summer before this past summer. And it will be able to be rung. They attached a lanyard to it that's hanging down up in the attic, but we can extend it down further. Someday I want to hear that bell ringing up there because it is a nice bell. It's a heavy bell, but it'll be nice to have. The building has a stone foundation, a field stone foundation. There's also a wall that extends out into the area of the cemetery. Well, a stonemason was hired. They came here and repointed the wall and the basement, fixed the cracks. The foundation is in very good shape now. And the wall, some of the wall was repaired at the same time. The other thing that was a big plus in the restoration is we got new front doors. Downstairs, we have two garage-type doors. They open like a regular door. They're not overhead doors. They're exact reproductions of what was on here in 1905. So that part was a reproduction. They're beautiful. They're stained wood on the inside and painted black. Unfortunately, they were black on the outside, so we had to do it black. I would have liked to have seen them as natural wood color or dark or stained. The building will not be the same as it was in 1905. Okay, it'll have a more modern flooring. It's going to be more utilitarian. It'll be used more for meetings and exhibits and things of this sort. So it was more of a renovation, not a restoration. If it was one nice area though that's going to be restored is the entryway downstairs, which is paneled in wood beadboard, which is it's been varnished. It's dark, like a walnut color right now. We're gonna restore that. Have that. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna have it done. House number 2 is located in an area where we have 3 other buildings that part of the Historical Society, the historic area. We're in the historic district of Salem, which extends down partway down Main Street, partway down Lawrence, and in back of us going up Main Street the other way, a little bit of School Street. And this will be in another building that we can add to this little complex of historic buildings. We have the Salem Old Town Hall Museum. Next door is the Alice Hall Library, which started out its life as a schoolhouse. And across the street we have Schoolhouse number 5, which was renovated for the year 2000, the 250th anniversary of Salem. So now we have another building. We'd love to get a fire engine, but a fire engine won't be able to be stored in this building. It's not strong enough. The flooring is not strong enough down below, but maybe we could get some small piece of hand pumps or something of that sort to show what fire equipment, firefighting was a long time ago. There's a committee that was set up, headed up by Henry LaBranche, and we've been working for a couple of years now. They're representatives from the Historical Society, Howie and Beverly Glenn. Susan Covey is representative from the Enterprise Bank. Elizabeth Roth, former selectman. What we pride ourselves on in our Salem Historical Society is to get the children in from the schools. We like to get kids to come in here by the class full, or individually with their parents or with their grandparents or any way we can get them. I think history of this town will mean a lot more to children when they can come in and see this is where all of this started. In the Historical Society, we have people come in and they can touch and feel things and walk around. In the museum, we have many, many things that we can let the kids pick up and use and try. And we're hoping to be able to do the same thing over here in the host house with the fire department equipment. When we open up the building, hopefully we'll have it open by next summer sometime. That's my own opinion. It's not the committee's opinion, but I hope we can get this thing opened up to the public next summer and show off a little bit.